that plans to let them make payments using their handsets could mean their identities are stolen and their money. A new study says the system is easily hacked and that the whole idea is ill-conceived. Alex Fidgen is the director at NWR Info Security who compiled this report. He joins us now live. Mr. Fidgen, I would have thought that it's as safe to use a mobile phone to make a payment as it is a desktop computer. Am I wrong?
Yeah, you are, unfortunately. MWR is one of the leading technical research companies in the world, and about a year ago we started looking at a lot of the leading brands of mobile phone and the operating systems that they're running, and in just about every case we have found critically serious vulnerabilities, the culmination of which allowed us to turn one phone into a mobile bugging device anywhere in the world without the user being aware, sending back audio and visual even when it was switched off. And I think it's because of that and looking at the broad problems across the mobile phone industry that we felt compelled really to flag this up now and say, in our opinion, we just don't think the industry is ready to take this on, especially when you consider that when trying to report some of these vulnerabilities, some of the handset manufacturers didn't even have a security team that we could contact. Are we really ready to receive mobile payments?
What's the advice for consumers here? I mean, is it safe to use your handset to pay for items?
I think the advice to the consumers is always the same, which is if you have any doubts whatsoever, then really look at the risk that you're willing to take. I mean, if you want to start spending hundreds of pounds,
with
thousands
respect,
of...
consumers are not experts. We're not IT experts.
Absolutely.
We work on the assumption things work and that they're safe and secure. Are you saying that mobile phones are not safe and secure to you?
What we are saying now is we've got serious concerns about the security, the inbuilt security of mobile phones and the security precautions that the industry is at, or inbuilt layers of security that the industry as a whole are putting in place. And unfortunately, the evidence for that is very, very strong.
Does this apply to iPhones as well?
Without going to the specifics of each manufacturer, I think there are, again, there's evidence across a broad spectrum of all the handsets that there are issues, or not only with the handsets but with the operating system.
To be clear, there are issues with all types of handsets.
The vast majority of handsets, there's a publicly available evidence that there are issues.
Your content are safe and secure?
Can you say that again, sorry?
Could you tell us the sorts of handsets that are safe and secure in your view?
That's a good question, and
you're not going to answer it.
There are obviously, because of our position, there's only certain amounts of information that sometimes we can provide because the manufacturers are still working on the problems.
Okay.
My general advice would be, if you have any queries at all, go onto the internet and look at that handset with the words security vulnerabilities against it, and you will soon find the evidence if you've got doubts.
Okay, Mr. Fidgen, I also want to ask briefly before you go about another point that you make in your report about the public sector versus the private sector. The report seems to be suggesting that actually the public sector is more aware and wise to potential security problems than the private sector is. Have I misread that?
I think yes, I think you've possibly misread into that. Essentially, everybody faces the same challenges now, and those challenges are that the technology that we now use to store the information is becoming incredibly complex, and the amount of time that you have to correct vulnerabilities or issues when they occur or when they're first discovered is now so small that at times you've got to rely on layers of security to give you that protection. The public sector really has sometimes exactly the same information available to it as the private sector, and the real difference is the structures that they use or the procedures to mitigate their risk. What's really interesting about the UK and the UK government in particular is it's one of the most advanced governments in the world in terms of that it's had procedures and specific government bodies specifically around electronic and cybercrime for well over 10 years, and that actually puts us in at quite an advantage compared to some of the other countries globally.
Okay, Alex Fidgen, I'm wrong and I misread your reports, but Director at MWR Info Security, thank you very much.